When a people are taught to forget their past, someone else gets to decide their future. Memory is a form of resistance. There comes a moment when knowing the truth isn't enough. That's when a people must decide, will they act or remain controlled?
Hello? Okay, good. Um, woo! That was horrible. So I'm using two devices. Please excuse me. I had to get them, situated, things of that nature. I hope that you had a very blessed weekend. I hope it was a prosperous weekend. Prosperous and productive. Blessed, prosperous, productive. Um, so I have got to say shout out to Florida. Because in New York, all the progressives are winning their seats, okay? Well, they're not their seats, but a chance to go to November. And these are some extreme progressives. So I'm very happy to see that Florida did not look at that. All six Haitian and Haitian American candidates lose Florida primaries. You know why? They thought they was bigger than the program. They was up there, we built this country. Immigrants built this. Y'all weren't even born when the country was built. You don't even descend from the ones who built this country. You're going around lying about history. Y'all rattled the white tea man's nest. See, the way y'all include white tea in the way you ethnically identify or racially identify, because y'all don't have no colonial racial caste system over there. These American white teas ain't like that. Nor do we treat them like that, right? We got to tussle with them sometimes about who built this country. And you thought you was going to go out in on our coattails and say that dumb shit. Y'all really be thinking that y'all are bigger than the program. Y'all be up there, well, Trump's family, they immigrants, and we go, he go. Well, joke's on y'all. And I don't even know how large the demographic of white tea folks or white folks are in those districts that the Haitians was running in. But I got to tell you, they getting on everybody's nerves just thinking they bigger than the program. I showed y'all the video the other day when the white man was like, oh, built the country. Y'all know we do get the credit, right? The resources are starting to say it more now. President Trump, a sitting president, has given us the credit for building this nation. And y'all thought as long as we took the fight and tussle with these people, and we still tussling, but y'all in the way, y'all was just going to get on national stages and say, y'all built the country. Do you know that a lot of people, white people, migrate to Florida? Don't let the Haitians fool you. I know so many people from New York that migrated to Florida and they be white. That's like their Caribbean down there. That's their chosen southern state, maybe Georgia too. I don't know. But everybody and their mama If the white folks ain't going to Long Island or something, they going to Florida. They got a second home in Florida. They retire and go to Florida. And y'all down there talking about healthcare system won't work. Walmart this, Amazon that won't function. I guess they said we willing to take it. Let's call your bluff. They willing to take a chance. But yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Y'all are crazy. And I kept looking at y'all like y'all not bigger than the program. But fair use. We have an update on Tasia Fortune.
An announcement. Tasia SIDEA Fortune, February 4th, 1997 to August 3rd, 2026. Official law enforcement and medical examiner status. Investigating agency, Jackson Police Department, Hinds County, MS. Official case classification, death pending investigation. Current investigative status, active and ongoing investigation. Autopsy determination, cause and manner of death remain pending final review by the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office. Memorial and funeral service notice. Funeral service. Saturday, August 22nd, 2026, 11 a.m. Location, Tucker Funeral Home, 113 North 3rd Street, Central City, Kentucky. Officiant, Reverend Ricky T. Hill. Final resting place, West End Cemetery, Greenville, KY. Official memorial fund and condolences. Expressions of sympathy. Tasia Fortune Memorial Fund. C.O. Tucker Funeral Home. P.O. Box 548, Central City, Kentucky, 42330. Online Memorial and Care Fund. Official support for burial expenses and her 4 children via Tucker Funeral Home and verified GoFundMe platforms. For further context on local reporting and community updates surrounding this investigation, you can watch BET News detailing Tasia Fortune's case. This video covers local news statements, the community's call for answers, and ongoing investigative updates in Jackson, Mississippi. YouTube video views will be stored in your YouTube history, and your data will be stored and used by YouTube according to its terms of service.
So as before, we're not going to watch but too much of the broadcast, so fair use is enacted. It's for educational and reporting measures only. Fair use.
And police said in a statement that the crime scene investigators are working to determine the circumstances surrounding Tasia's death. Okay, she was hung. We don't know what happened yet, but we do know that Mississippi has documented history of racial terror and lynchings. Just like Nolan Wells, we demand answers. Literally need answers for what happened to Tasia Fortune, and we will not sit back and let this one just play out. Next up, can we talk about sleepovers and black kids? Because of a viral thread post, folks are asking if your child calls you late at night asking to come home from a sleepover. Are you picking them up?
That's a very good question. Yes. Unless they with my parents, that just mean they ain't get their way. But they grown now, so they could be on their own. So the reason why I wanted to play all of that is because if you didn't hear, it said investigation pending. And the autopsy results aren't released yet. They're pending. So the funeral service was this past weekend, but they're not ruling it a S side just yet, right? And in that video, the snippet that I played after that, and somewhere else too, I believe, that they are saying with the Nolan Wells case, Tasia's case is really, really being scrutinized because they're getting a lot of pushback. Uh, so that is a good sign that they didn't rule it in S side right away. It does say investigation pending. So I wanted to get that out there too. Um, and, oh my God, we gotta get right into New York, not history, but I think I told y'all, and I was like, I was all on DoorDash, Grubhub, and I'm looking at the soul food restaurants. I feel like cutting on my oven and stuff like that. I figured, I support a black business, right? A soul food business. I don't even know why, you know. So I was like seeing some stuff. I was like, oh my God, they're infusing everything. You could tell these people are Caribbean. You could tell this ain't really us, this, that, and the third. So I took a chance on a place that I had ordered from years ago. I put up a post on Instagram, everything. I was really, really happy with their food. But something told me to get the okra, right? I didn't the fried okra. I don't like certain textures, and slime is one of them. But if you fry my okra just right, I'll eat it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the okra. And me and my son was like, we don't know. I was like, something telling me they ain't us, son. I'm telling him, right? And he's like, I don't know, ma. It just didn't taste right. The macaroni and cheese, it wasn't like baked good enough. And I was like, if you would make macaroni and cheese on top of the stove, not even from the box, right? And then the sweet potatoes we had to doctor up. Now I did get lobster tails; they were beautiful. I can't lie about the lobster tails, right? Um, do you know? I kept telling myself, BX, look up the restaurant, see who owns the restaurant, see what's going on with this restaurant. Because I bypassed everything that said rice and peas, or jerk, right? Jerk chicken, stuff like that. Because that's definitely Caribbean. I go to Twitter, y'all. And so the restaurant is in different boroughs, right? So there's one in Harlem, and I think two in the Bronx. Could be two in Harlem. And this young guy from Harlem was going off about the same restaurant. He said, yo, and I'm gonna let him tell y'all. I'm so mad. Well, I'm not really mad. I gave it a shot. The lobster was good. I just know. And this is going to present a dilemma. Watch this. Fair use.
Black people making soul food. Why we got Africans making soul food, gang? That shit was metal. That was not that, bro. I need baked mac. You feel what I'm trying to say? I need candy yams. I don't want mushy, sweet mashed potato yams. Like, what's going on out here? I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. Harlem, y'all gotta do better. Yo, we need black people making soul food. Like, stick to your kind and make what you can make. Word. That ass, though.
So, Ms. Net was saying that the restaurant is Black American owned. However, when she expanded, there's Africans cooking now. So I just had to add like a little more sugar, a little more cinnamon, a little bit more butter to the yams. And I was just like, Now, me and my son both have like sweet tooth, you call it. And we both just left it sitting there for a while. And I was like, wait, I spent my money, I'm going to eat it. And that's why I doctored it up a little bit. But yeah, the lobster was good. And if you think about it, some Africans are coastal, Ivory Coast, stuff like that. So I guess the seafood, I know the state of the water today, y'all. But don't get on me. But so I guess the seafood might be the best thing they can make. And I only had the lobster tails. Like, how can you mess up lobster tails? It was highly seasoned. So if you got pressure, blood pressure, then maybe that won't be for you. But if there's different locations, then maybe not everybody cooks the same. So here's the dilemma. It's the same thing I'm finding with my hair, right? So she's Black American owned. She's hiring African. Do we still support? She's Black American owned, but the food is like It's messing it up. Now, see, this is the problem with Pan Africanism. You think everything come from the continent, so she probably over there thinking, and I don't know the lady, so this is just my hypothesis, my theory. She probably over there thinking the food, soul food, come from Africa, and she got these Africans cooking it. And that's just diabolical. And then people now I see why some people be like New Yorkers can't cook. They got Caribbeans and Africans cooking. And I want to know how long it's really been going on. But I got to tell you, from the 1990s, it wasn't like this. I'm gonna say the 1990s to about 2010, 2012, because I was living in Brooklyn and it was really Black Americans. Um, in the restaurant. So I don't know. There's a few good ones left, but they used to be like readily available, readily available. And it's just like, why are we even hiring these people? I know boomers who still cook at churches for the homeless and stuff. Y'all mean y'all can't tap into them and see if they want to help you out a little bit? Cause this is ridiculous. You know, my mama cooking for the church now. She ain't take me to church when I was younger. And so I can't get my food half the time. I'm in here cooking. She feeding the homeless. I can't, when people get the call from God, we not really supposed to judge it, but dog it, lady, you could have gave me a little bit more religious structure, okay? But now she over there cooking for the homeless and stuff. I love her potato salad. I don't want nobody else potato salad, but I can't even get my potato salad because she over there feeding the homeless. And you can't find people like that. I don't think my mother wanted to cook for a restaurant because we kept telling her she needed her own restaurant. She'd be like, not me. But she cooks so good. So I don't know if our own people are overlooking us to hire these Africans. Maybe the Africans are these people's family, and we gotta watch out because I gotta tell you what else is fairly new to me. Africans and Black Americans get married not for money. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of marriage fraud back in the days. Um, but they like getting businesses and stuff together. So we got to be careful of the Black Americans who are the face of everything, but it's their spouse and the spouse's family that's working behind the scenes. Because I got to tell you, I'm with the young man right there, and I bought my food from the Bronx, and he in Harlem. I don't know New York, get it together. But yeah, that's my question. Do we still support her? They got to change the recipe. Who going to keep buying that? That's going to bring down her brand. Let me keep going, y'all. I don't want to get stuck there. That's like our personal problem in New York, and y'all probably want to hear something else. But fair use.
Bitch, run up. Do something so I can drop. Trying to keep his hands to himself. Don't touch me. Tell her son to keep his fucking hands to himself. Bitch, the next time he put his hands up, I'ma beat you the fuck up, bitch. I'ma beat you the fuck up. Bitch, run up. Do something so I can drop your bitch ass. The fuck? I don't know what the fuck you want with you fucking A-round, bitch. You cannot touch. We're grown. You cannot touch me. You cannot touch me. I didn't touch you, ma'am. You cannot touch me. You cannot touch me. Bitch, stop screaming at me. You cannot touch me. Now you finna get touched. You keep screaming, I'm gonna touch your bitch ass. Tell your son to keep his hands to his fucking self. My son's only fucking 5 years old. My son is
Okay, I decided to turn it off. Let me tell you something. I showed y'all about Afrophobia the other day. I'm pretty sure some of y'all knew about it already. But they have Islamophobia too. And do you see the entitlement of that lady, the anger in that lady? And it was that lady's son that hit the black woman's child. Black mamas ain't playing that. And the baby probably was smaller than the other um child. But what I'm noticing is women like her being really, really mean and aggressive or lying when they get caught doing something, and then they say Islamophobia. It's too many immigrants in the United States of America. Fair use.
Yo, I just seen a post saying that there's a whole racist group chat of like 400,000 people that are tampering with like black people's foods at the restaurants. They specifically mention Texas Roadhouse and this other place called Logan's. That shit is fucking wild. Now you can't even trust going to, I mean, I'm sure this ain't nothing new to be honest, but now they're just out in the open. I can't ever go to Texas Roadhouse.
Black Americans, don't I tell y'all all the time that the people that we deal with who are our adversaries are not bright people? Palm colored people. Why would you create a group chat about how you will tamper with our foods at these restaurants like a Texas Roadhouse? I don't eat at these restaurants. I always cook at my own damn house. That's not the here nor there. Why would you do that? I guarantee you that group chat includes a whole lot of other groups that are just YT adjacent. I promise you. Y'all do realize that is the right? Not only that, it's a whole host of other felonies. Not only that, now you finna have all these restaurants coming out like a Texas Roadhouse, which is a powerhouse of a restaurant. Now you're affecting their pockets. When you affect their pockets, policies got to come out. Laws got to get enacted. And a whole slew of other shit has to happen, because how can they gonna release these statements saying, hey, we don't condone this, blah, 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 but you can't control that in your restaurants. You can't control it in your restaurants. So we got to put a ban on even more, y'all. Collateral damage. It is what it is. Now you idiots in this group chat gonna have to deal with all the ramifications of you being disgusting and stupid. And you got to deal with my ancestors. If you ain't realized it by now, my ancestors don't play by us. But we'll see about y'all. Good luck.
Correct. At this point, we have to admit that when they get in those group chats and stuff, they want to get caught. They want to get caught. They want the attention. By now, not all of them are dumb, y'all. We can't say all of them are dumb, but I don't know. I'm not racist. It's something about them that they just do dumb shit, but they also have the ones that be like, oh, I'm telling the ones that think they cool because they got like, a black boyfriend, girlfriend or something. So, good morning, Allie. How are you? Ali says, good morning, BX and Chad. Hope you had a great weekend. Guess what song I was singing in church? And free praise the Lord and free, no longer bound, no more chains holding me. Who sings that, Ali? That's a hymn. So I think that they just want to get caught sometimes. Cause I can't believe they that dumb. But you never know. Racism is, one hell of a drug for them. So we have another video from 713 Phenom. It's a gospel song. Okay. Did you see Florida did not choose any Haitian or Haitian American to be in the regular, they not up for election or re-election come November. And it was 6 of them too. Florida done learned from New York. They said, we ain't going through that mess. They tired of them because the Haitians are the largest, I think, Caribbean population down there. Like they have the highest number of Haitians down there. I think we might have the highest number of Jamaicans up here in New York. They all get on my nerves to me, and a lot of them be cosplaying Jamaicans too. But I'm happy. I'm happy, and I'm waiting for New York to do something similar. But all the progressives are winning. But the progressives that I've seen are not like heavily melanated. One looks kind of black presenting, but I don't think she's Haitian or any type of Caribbean. She might be some type of, you know how the Africans are like the Arab Muslim type people. I think that's who she is, and they was trying to get her to stop denouncing it's not and whatnot. Yeah. So fair use.
How to be an American. Okay. Or how to be a Jamaican. The hell?
A doormat of somebody who I would guess is from America saying that they're proud to be American should not cause that type of response from you or anybody. That's a problem. We have a problem. You're so proud to be from a country you refuse to even live in or go back to, seeing as that most of y'all don't live on that island. More than 50% of you live outside of the island and will never go back. We have a problem. This is a problem.
I don't even know why she got so mad. Just put the package down and go about your business. She don't know about ring cameras by now. I wonder if she still got her job. Because depending on who was behind, who was watching it, whose door that is, you don't know how far they're gonna take it. They may not even like her ass. They may be America first. They got the doormat. And you're gonna talk about, yeah, okay, well, I'm proud to be from Jamaica. Just lady, do your job. There's too many anti-American immigrants in here. Like some immigrants come, they happy to be here, they put the flag up and all this other stuff. I don't want to say the work hard trope, but they pretty much just want to be in America. These people here, they don't like America. Like they don't want, I don't know. There was a young lady, and we had to tussle a couple of times. But when I went in the room, because I hadn't seen her in a while, but I went in the room just to see what was going on because I read the prompt. And it was like, if you don't like America or you're not America first, then why should America be for you? So when I went in the room, an American Indian was getting on her. And the American Indian was like, lady, you're an immigrant. Like, shut up. We ain't even talking to you. And I was like, yeah, yeah. From the chat. Yeah, yeah, she ain't talking to you. And it's just like, I missed a quite a considerable amount of time of the live. I came in the midst of everything. And she said, and the host was like, but you did say, he was explaining why Black Americans don't want her talking for them or on certain things because she's an immigrant or a child of immigrants anchored here. And, I was born here. She already said she has an allegiance to Jamaica. I'm like, bitch, you ain't safe. Mexican repatriation. There's a Jamaican, and I played it for you already. The Jamaican man was mistaken for somebody else. He was born here, but they deported his ass anyway. So they say he was born here. They deported his ass anyway, and he's still over there. It's been a few months now. And the nonprofit's trying to help him. No, the nonprofit was for the military man. Yeah, the military man probably was the same one. But yeah, no, it wasn't the same one. Sorry, y'all. But you really going to say that in a room full of Black Americans? I think people really be trolling us, or they're so used to us not fully agreeing with our government, not wanting this, that, and the third for our country. Some of us will even say, "Can't we can't stay in America? America be doing too much," but we ain't leaving. We know we ain't leaving. I think we see the beauty in America, especially with delineation, the way we doing our genealogy, everybody embracing the flag, and it's like we're not pushing Pan African to the forefront, global flat blackness to the forefront, and we're sitting around like minded people, although we may scuffle with each other every now and then, not physically, of course. And I think a lot of people don't know how to take that. Because you see, with the Haitian girl lying about America stole Haiti's gold, 17 boxes of gold, and that's what got Wall Street to where it is today. The black American lady was like, right, right, because it all comes back around. We all black. That shit there. And I think that when we have our flags, when we have doormats that say proud to be American and stuff, people just don't know how to take that. But what I'm starting to realize, and others have brought it to my attention, they not really picking a fight with their real colonizer. Sorry, y'all. Excuse me. Their real enslaver of their ancestors. They ain't doing all that to the Brits unless I missed it. They ain't doing all that to the French. Nobody really talks about Spain but us or the Dutch. And I rarely, rarely hear a Caribbean talk about the Africans selling their ancestors into slavery. They'll say things like, yeah, we come from Africa, but they ain't talking about the Africans' role in how the Europeans, you know, was able to purchase those ancestors. So everybody just dislikes the United States of America, America, however you want to say it, but why y'all here? To me now, I'm not when they be like, "Oh, we're stronger together. We need the numbers." They ain't adding to our value, right? They siphoning so much stuff. But I think that we should be nervous of them. Fuck when they leave. Get them out now, because they seem very volatile. I gotta tell you, they frustrate me to all high heaven, but they seem volatile. They seem entitled. Before y'all started coming in the room, I was, explaining because of the replay gang. I will start talking before the numbers come in, but y'all go ahead and like, share, and subscribe while I'm up here monologuing. And I was giving a shout out to Florida for not letting the Haitians be able to run for office in November. And so I was just explaining that it's too many anti American immigrants here. I don't know, y'all. I think they gotta go. It's like the entitlement. They thought they were bigger than the program. Y'all saw the African lady in New York? And she was saying, it was my race of people that built this country. It was my race of people. What are you doing in my place? Bitch, this ain't your place. There's Haitians talking about, give me my tax money back and I'll leave. You ain't got no choice. You're still leaving. Well, if we gotta go, Trump and his family gotta go. I say, y'all doing too much. Y'all think y'all bigger than the program. That's what it really is. Y'all up there talk about y'all built this country. Let me tell you, as much as black Americans, and we had to tussle with many a white folk about who built this country. And now every resource I'm finding is saying we built this country. Trump has said we don't get the credit we deserve for building this country. It took us years to get to this place. And you think the white man just gonna hand it to you? You think you could? You don't know American white folk because you over there in Haiti removing colonial racial caste systems. Talking about y'all all noir. These white folks ain't letting y'all. You think that you can say you built this country and not piss them off? You think you could say that and your country looks the fucking way it does? You ain't bullshit, man. They wasn't talking about y'all when they started that. That started in the 1920s, honey. Y'all wasn't even allowed in this country. No way, shape, form, or fashion. Now y'all appropriated that term. Y'all vultured that and applied it to y'all. But I gotta tell you, I did the research. Even brought it to this platform. We know that started with JFK and his administration. They wasn't talking about you melanated immigrants, y'all. Y'all gotta get a grip. Y'all are pissing me off. I've been pissed off. And I knew the white folk was pissed off when he said, yeah, yeah, took the country. But I realized when I saw all six, look at the prompt, all six Haitian and Haitian American candidates lose Florida primaries. They thought they had it, y'all. They really thought they was bigger than the program. Now New York, you better take a cue from Florida. We sick of the immigrant shit, and y'all up here voting for progressives. Y'all can't. Oh my God, I want to know how they benefit. They got to be all immigrants. The immigrants as a whole probably do outnumber foundational Black Americans here. We can't sit on the couch, y'all, because I would really love to see a result like this from the collective of us. Meaning, don't even vote for the Democrats. If we could get Yvette Clark out, but too bad it's by district, you know. Yeah, Ali says exactly. Pan Africanism never calls out the Africans who sold our Negro ancestors as if we don't know they were Negroes known as the outsiders. That's good. They don't call nobody out. But us. And the good and you know the white man. That's I don't know. They getting on my nerves, but they gotta start calling these people out. Fair use.
Do y'all know that this used to be a dump site? This used to be a dump site. Haitians, pay attention. All of you Haitians, I need you to report to the front of the class. First of all, what do you see, Haitians? Learn. What do you see? A lady with a broom. You see how clean it is? This used to be a polluted river dump site. And look what we have here. They're not just talking about what they did in the past. This is called pride. Taking pride in your history, your culture, and your nation. There's division in the country, but look at this sense of unity. Not a piece of trash in sight. Look, Haiti. This is what you should do. Look. This is called pride. A mop, broom, and a dustpan is more powerful than a pew-pew. A mop, broom, and a dustpan is more of a revolution than 1804. Cleaning up your country and transforming your country so it looks like this and providing for your children so that they have a communal place like this is better than the 1804 Haitian Revolution. This is the revolution right here. So I need you Haitians to come to the front of the classroom. Stop blaming America for why you don't take care of your country.
He got a point. He got a point. Haiti is the part I saw that was salvaged, like it wasn't affected by the earthquake and stuff like that. Looked beautiful. I was really surprised there was another side of Haiti the way they be going on and only showing Port-au-Prince. But I just had a thought, y'all. If they really cleaned up that island and improve certain things about it, they could get tourism income. You know how many people would probably want to go there? Everybody studying some form of an ATR. Voodoo is a ATR. They be going over there for some religious ceremonies and stuff. Like they could really make some money if they only did the work. That was my thought of the day for them. I shouldn't even give them that bone. But and he been on them though. He has. Um, fair use, y'all. Fair use.
The thing about Ghana is stop crying victim. Stop crying victim, because y'all cheat us out of a lot of stuff. Y'all invited us to come home, which by the thousands we did. We came running to Ghana. People sold their homes, moved out of their apartments, sold everything. Some people packed up containers and moved over here just to get over here and realize this is not our home. Y'all call us foreigners. Ghanaians call us that. We didn't make that word up. We didn't start calling ourselves that. We don't know that that's what y'all call the white people and the Chinese because we're not around them. But we know that that's what y'all call us. I ain't never heard the word before, Toby, till I came to Ghana. Okay. Y'all invite us home. Let's talk about what y'all do to us. Starting from the before we get to the airport, we got to have a visa that we pay for to even enter our home. We pay all this money for passports and visas to get here. We get to the airport, and as soon as you see a blue passport, everybody's coming for us. Can you give me something small at the COVID place? You get to immigration. Can you give me something small? You get to baggage. Can you give me something small? A person grabbed a damn cart and put my bag on it and got mad because I gave him $5 because I only had hundreds, because you come over here with hundreds to get the best, cash in rate. How about he looked at that and said, I don't want that. I said, what you mean you don't want it? I said, I want to know, what did you expect me to give you? He said, $10. I said, so you want me to give you over 100 CDs for picking up a bag, putting it in a cart? He don't know this is like my 5th time coming through the airport. I have never seen nowhere in any country or state where people have openly, it says $60 for foreigners, $30 for locals, okay? You go to Cocoon Park, and I don't remember the price. Let's say $200 for foreigners, because that's what y'all call us, $40 for locals. You go to the castle, it's $60 for foreigners, $10 for locals. I ain't never seen that nowhere. I ain't never went nowhere in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada where it said you pay, if you a local, if you're from here, you pay $3 for a Coca-Cola, but if you're a foreigner, you pay $8 for a Coca-Cola. I ain't never seen that nowhere except Ghana. Nobody in the airport has ever asked me for no money for nothing. I have only seen that in Ghana. Now let's talk about the fact that y'all welcomed us home and how this process looks to me. According to y'all, the ones of us that were stolen, so let's talk about the process of coming home. We got stolen from our mother, our birth mother and father. 20 years later, we're probably 26 years old now. Our mother finds us and she said, baby, y'all come home. I miss you. Come back home. Get out them streets where they don't love you at and come home. So we drive, take a taxi, however we get to our mother's address, we get there. But before she let us come to the door, she says, oh, welcome home. But before you come in, can you pay me $300 to enter the door? That's the visa to come home. So, okay, we happy to be home. So we paid $300 to our mother to step foot in her house because we're excited to be home to the motherland, okay? We get in there, and now it's dinner time. And she has plates on the table for the kids that grew up in the house. And she has a plate on the table for me and my sister who was stolen years ago. And she says, oh, my daughters, because you didn't grow up here, my children get to eat free that grew up here. But because you were stolen and you're just coming back, I have to charge you $20 for a plate. So me and my sister, we're so happy to be home. We're confused. We pay her $20 for a plate. Okay. That's the cocoon shit. That's y'all giving us different prices for shit. Okay. Now we're at our mother's house and we're enjoying being there. We see something's a little weird, but we enjoy being back home with our mother. We decide we want to stay. And she goes, oh, you want to stay a little longer? You're going to have to pay me $1,000 every year to stay here. That's the residency. Now we're paying her for residency, even though she invited us home after we were stolen from her. Okay? Now we pay the residency, and then we decide, you know what, we want to get on the birth certificate. We kind of like it here. It's a little weird, but we comfortable enough to stay here. And she tells us, oh, in order for you to stay here, I have to put my name on your birth certificate. That's going to be $3,000 each, please. And then I will put your name on the birth certificate, and you will become a family member. That's the citizenship. That's the citizenship. So how are we home if we got to pay y'all? Why aren't the visas free? If this is home, why don't you make this visa free for us? If this is home, why do we have to pay to be a resident? If this is home.
So that video is old. It's making its way, it's rounds. People was dragging her, not too mean, but they was like, now lady. Ain't nobody for if you took your ass over there. But here's the thing to me about Ghana. They admit that they had a hand in the slave trade. They do all these fees and stuff. I agree with her. How can you tell people they were kidnapped and then charge them for residency and citizenship and all this other stuff? Now they can't stop the scammers and all of that. But I mean, as the government, you really go and they can't own the land, right? So, but they expect us not to feel away when they come for our reparations. And that's what I mean by lack of reciprocity. Things are one sided. And like people really not thinking about this. The people that migrated over there, and I'm gonna look more into it, right? Probably pulled their asses out of debt. And that's probably why they started the return home program for the money. Because if they had their way, we wouldn't be nowhere on the continent. We know they don't like us. We know they don't like us. And shout out to Sister Lacey. Sister Lacey does expose things that happen in Ghana to the women, but especially Black Americans when they go over there just to help. So, yeah. So they was getting on high. I just wanted to issue the reminder that the same people asking for reparations. Good morning, Creole Creative. How are you? So the same people that is coming over here to our grave sites and stuff, thinking they should get reparations with us or the U.S. should pay them reparations, had the whole return home program and basically are scamming our people. No problem, Creole. I'm not going to the continent. I have no desire to go. Like, whatever was there. And I didn't really want to go visit like the slave castles. I don't know how I would act. And then it's like you be on these ships with the white people, watch it and doing the tour or whatever. That was just, weirded. That just weirded me out when my aunt told me that, right? But I did see a part of Ghana before. I don't know what it looked like today, but it looked like a really nice beach and stuff. Um, that probably was the only attraction because on Facebook there was this guy. He's a designer, clothes designer, and he was doing trips, not the return home trips, but like tours. And one time they went to Egypt, from Ghana to Egypt, because he's from Ghana and stuff like that. So I was supporting him. And I was like, wow. But the trip I think cost like 2,000. They was taking pictures. They was happy. There was no reports of loss of life. But those were the smart people. They went, they visited, and they went back home. Now, if they took their ass back over there to live, and they come home and the house is in rubbles, because that's what they do, then demolish it and shit, and that's on them. But I don't have no desire to go to Africa. And I don't know what the purpose of this lady is telling us this, but watch this. I really, and I gotta be honest, I'm not sure. I did not do her genealogy. I don't know if she's like us, our type of American, or the people who migrated here and now they think they are American. But listen to this, y'all. Fair you.
Anyway.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Come close. I want y'all in on my little bitty secret that don't nobody know about, unless you work here. Do y'all know that your girl is the chef behind M&M African Kitchen?
You sure about that?
Clock that team. Clock it.
Yes, that's right. Me, an American girl, cooking Nigerian food.
No. No.
What? Oh my goodness. No. It is. Mm-hmm. Hey.
Tell me more.
So, backstory. My mother-in-law came from Nigeria because my husband, he already knew I can cook. So he was like, you know what, I want you to actually learn our recipes and I want someone to train you. Now, we went to Canada, we met his aunt. She showed me how to make my favorite dish, which is the afori roll. Shout out to you, auntie. Love you. Once I learned how to make that, my husband was like, okay, yeah, I need to bring my mama here because she gonna show you how to make every other dish and my mama is the #1 cook. We got to open a restaurant, bring mama. Mama come, mama show me all the ins and outs, shows me how to make the dishes authentically. You show me your playbook, I'm gonna run with it. That's what my mother-in-law did. She showed me her playbook, I ran with it. Some other people came in, they was like, hey, you can probably tweak this, do this. M&M has been running very well. People are in love with every food that we make, and they don't even know this American girl is a chef. Every time I go out there, they ask me, are you the chef? Nah, I just work here.
Wow. Let's just give me a second. Let me process that.
I don't know if she our American or some type of African, who migrated here now. She's American. And I think that's like kind of a setup. Because you see, we have been complaining about them and the way they're appropriating soul food. Now she want to talk about she learned how to make Nigerian food. And she just told us that she be scamming the customers. Like, no, I just work here. I just work here. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, she's supposedly the chef. Now, none of that looked good to me. I don't like African food. I'm sure that for people who have a taste bud for African cuisine, she might, that food might suit you. But I just don't, that's not my thing, y'all. But that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's kind of probably a setup. They want to get ahead of the curve because they know that if we start boycotting certain businesses, then even their chefs, or if they put the money into the business, that's going to be gone. So I just want to say this, y'all. We don't have to support anybody appropriating our culture. That's economic exploitation. That's exactly what they're doing when they get their tails in these restaurants and talk about soul food. They know ain't no soul food over on that continent. And it's just kind of diabolical to me. I know I went into Dee's room, right? And somebody was saying, and he's a Pan African. I know him too. I don't want to say his name. But they were in the discussion, and he was talking about, well, they brought this, that, and the third over here. And Fresh was like, how? Like, I know what he, like, she knew, well, she ain't say like how I said it, but, it was like, here we go with this shit. Here we go with they stopped the braid rice in their hair shit. And sure enough, he said it. But I always wondered that too. How did they know? And then if you look at some of them, they cut their hair low or their hair don't grow that long. Like, can we be serious? Where was they braiding the rice? What they did was appropriate our history of when our ancestors were escaping the plantations, right? They did things like that. I know that in doing research for a current project, our ancestors would put stuff in satchels and then put it, like close to their breastplate. Sometimes they tie things around their neck. I don't want to say too much because it's some of the stuff around their neck was a part of hoodoo. I'm fine, Cleo. Thank you. But I'm gonna move on into the next video. I just think that's a setup. Like, look, accept me, cooking Nigerian food. So then when they be like, well, y'all cooking our food, we cooking yours, but they just messing us all up. If she is up, she probably added a little extra seasoning so it tastes a little better than it looks. I don't know. Fair use.
Y Yasmani, no pueden salir de ese edificio. You cannot leave that building.
No, con el oficial solamente, aquí afuera, porque ya se llevaron a él a Daniel.
Wow.
Nos tienen aquí detenidos en un centro, no podemos salir, no tenemos documentos, sufriendo por nuestra familia, en un continente que no conocemos, otra cultura, hay mucha violencia aquí en la calle, no podemos salir.
Los Estados Unidos nunca te avisó que te iban a deportar a África. The U.S. never gave you notice that you were getting sent to Africa.
No, a las 5 horas en el avión fue que vine a enterarme que veníamos a África.
Were you deported because of a criminal record?
Yo no tengo ningún antecedente criminal, solo o de infracciones de tránsito.
Where are the other deportees from?
Nepal,
Nepal, Vietnam, Cuba, Ecuador, Honduras,
y África.
and Africa.
Y Rusia.
And Russia too. Pero ninguno de ustedes es de ese país. None of you are from that country.
No, ninguno somos de este país.
None. Están atrapados. You're stuck.
Estamos atrapados en este edificio.
Y en África. And in Africa.
Y en África, otro continente que no conocemos. Y este es un país bien violento, que lo he buscado en YouTube. Puede ser que nos vean sin documentos y nos pueden matar, nos pueden arrestar como le pasó al compañero Daniel ayer.
Clip of Malcolm X.
Pero lo que hicieron mejor salir con él aquí.
Y Yasmani, no pueden salir de ese edificio. You cannot leave that building.
I was screen recording, and on Twitter, it knocks you down to the next video. So, Ali, I don't believe a lot of people took the DNA test. Ghana just has that return to home program. And then, if you believe you come from Africa, then they was taking their ass over there. That's what that was about. DNA test, I don't believe was like a requirement. So I really don't know. They didn't say if they did that. I'm gonna play this again so you could catch the name. Good morning, Miss Vita. So you could catch the name. I want to say it sounded like Eminem, but let's be clear about it, right? So fair use.
Anyway.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Come close. I want y'all in on my little bitty secret that don't nobody know about, unless you work here. Do y'all know that your girl is the chef behind Eminem African Kitchen?
So she said M&M African Kitchen. So they, it could be two different ones. And let me see what your comment says. Was they making African food? Because she showed us African plates. Oh, she looks Haitian. I don't know. She just got that look that says not Black American. That's why I was like, I didn't do her genealogy, but I don't know if she is that, And but some bi ethnics can take on the look of the other parent, but I don't know. But check this out. I found this interesting. Listen to this. Fair use.
Well, they kind of started the whole jazz era, didn't they? Rock and roll, Jimi Hendrix. You think you can name like a real pioneer, some really influential music that's not black? Oh shit. You know what? I'm not sure if I could. Because I'm thinking sort of Ray Charles and sort of people like that. We were talking to someone earlier, they said like rock and roll, you know, it came from blues, R&B, again, rap, jazz, it's all from like black people.
I think the man was putting down our music genres and stuff. And then the other man was like, well, name, I think some music genres or some artists. And then as the man was naming it, he was like, all black people. You know what I'm saying? He had to say something slick, but it was kind of low for me. But when you watch the playback, so I was going off of memory for that. Um, just using the name is suspect. Yeah, yeah. Because they don't have a blueprint of their own. They take things from us and then try to put their spin on it, but it usually taints, you know, what it was they were inspired by. Fair use. Listen to this, Haitian. Fair use.
I'm from Haiti and stuff, and I'm in Pennsylvania right now. West Indian or not African and stuff. I believe if you got a little bit of black in you, you automatically African to me and stuff. And if you don't claim that you African and stuff, it's just because you running away from it, or you lost your background and stuff. That's pretty much it. And I can prove it to you and stuff. Here's an example and stuff, right? FBA be talking hella nonsense bullshit and stuff. Before slavery and stuff, I ask all the FBA that come up here and talk hella bullshit. I ask them that question. Before slavery, what currency you guys were using? And that's all I wanted to say.
Are you able to answer the prompt? Because this has nothing to do with foundational Black Americans. You're Haitian. I'm West Indian. The prompt says West Indian, and you went to foundational Black Americans.
I said, if you got a little black in you and stuff, you automatically African to me.
So you are pro the white supremacist practice of one drop rule.
No, I'm
That's
not
what that
going
means.
against.
That's a
No,
reverse one drop rule, and that's ethnic erasure.
no. I see what I see and stuff, and if I see you black, you automatically African to me.
Okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying physical characteristics makes you African.
Yes.
Okay, so what about Fijians and Papua New Guinea and all of Melanesia?
Well, like I said, as long as I could see you got this little black in you and stuff, you African.
They're not from Africa.
Well, we not in Africa right now, are we?
But you're calling yourself and people who share those physical traits African. That's your logic.
Hey, you can call it what it is, and I see what I see and stuff. And
We don't even have to be in the room and we on their mind. Why'd he bring us up? The topic was West Indians, and here he go. I'm unsure if soul food is trademarked. Everything else is trademarked. It might have something in front of it, like a first name or something. I don't know. Even the Asians talking about K-Soul restaurant and stuff. They really trying to go heavy on the soul, but it don't work for people. And I gotta be, mindful, y'all. I gotta be mindful of some of the stuff I say. Because I could go way out there. So I'm gonna see what this resource is. Oh, I played that for y'all before. So I kind of wanted to get into, I'm going to just skip up here. I kind of wanted to revisit the Haitian thing again. Because I did a little bit of digging. So we're gonna kick it off with, let me see, fair use.
To Texas, right? So when I went to elementary school, pre-K, whatever, I didn't go to school with no Haitians. Didn't even know nothing about Haitians at all. When I went to Middle school and high school, no Haitians. It was all FBA, right? I went to school mostly with FBAs and the white folk. That's mostly it. In our community, we didn't discuss Haitians. We didn't say nothing bad about Haitians. Yes, we heard of Haitian people and all that, but we've never had any those kind of discussions. Even to this day, fast forward to 2026, when I engage other FBAs, we're not discussing Haitians. For surely we're not saying we can't stand Haitians or anything. So, ma'am, I don't know where you get that from. Now, that little enclave in New York, that's a total different situation over there. Y'all got a lot going on in New York, okay? I guess New York, anywhere, those places like that, hey, that's that. But the majority of us as FBA, definitely from the South, we didn't engage y'all like that because y'all not even around us. So how could we have this hatred for you when we don't even be around you like that? That's number one. Number two, the question that we have, and the question I'm going to continue to ask when I see these videos, is why are you worrying about some Black American? Because this is what it is, y'all. Some person who could be FBA get online and say something crazy or slick to a person who's Haitian. And they see that comment or a couple of comments online. And so they say, all these Black Americans hate us. First of all, you don't even know if that is a Black American talking to you. That's number one. Number two, have you met the majority of us? No, you haven't. Because the majority of us don't even got no feeling towards you, one way or another. Number three, go back to what we said in the beginning. It wasn't us that pushed to end Haitians.
So, I want to say this. In all my years of living in New York, in the Bronx, because I think there's a large concentration of Haitians, like in Brooklyn. I've met only one admitted Haitian, and her family migrated to New York in 1989. And then her family. But Haitians weren't really big, or a lot of these, weren't really big when I was growing up. Only one Haitian I met. But I also got to say this: a lot of these ethnic groups in New York, they really wasn't popping. I'm looking at everybody like, where you come from? Where you lived in the city? They just wasn't like. Now maybe I only visited Brooklyn, and when I lived in Brooklyn, I wasn't running all around the borough. So I don't know who was out there, but nobody was saying, let's go to Brooklyn and see them Haitian niggas. Like, we wasn't saying none of that. Let's go to Brooklyn and see them Panamanian niggas. Let's go over here, Washington Heights, and see the Dominican niggas. Like, they just weren't in. And I was surprised when some of them got there or had parade days. Now, the entitlement of these immigrants, it is that line there. Oh, America's the land of immigrants. And that, I think, has helped to embolden them too. Because it's just amazing. But yeah, Haitians really wasn't dominant all over New York. Like Jamaicans, that's why they call Jamaicans the bullies of the Caribbean. They just, everybody know who or what is a Jamaican, right? Some of them try to cosplay Jamaicans, the accents and stuff like that. But I don't know. A lot of these folks, I be like, where y'all come from? You've been here all this time. I be having to Google. They just wasn't the thing. But what irks me, y'all, is Panamanian. Or Panamanian. Talking about they face the same discrimination I face. Just like the Dominican girl said. We may face the same poverty and stuff. And if you a certain complexion, everybody saying the N-word, we had to break that down. They just annoying. The entitlement of it all, and they should really go back home. But fair use, y'all. This is Tethers of TikTok. Shout out to Tethers of TikTok. And here's a clip of Tyreek Nasheed himself. Fair use.
And also, let's get into Chicago.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's get into Chicago.
DeSabo. When did he go up there to Chicago?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
DeSable, who went up there to Chicago, one of the founders of Chicago.
Yeah, he
DeSable.
was Haitian. Yeah, he was one of the Haitians.
Unfortunately, very little is known about DeSable's life. Some accounts speculate that he was born around 1745 in the village of Saint Mark on the island of Saint-Domingue. Now, Saint-Domingue is a country now known as Haiti. His ancestry on his mother's side was African. Some sources say she was a slave, while some others think she might have been a former slave. On his father's side, he's believed to have been his father is believed to have been a French sailor, who then took DeSable to France, where he was educated.
The ones you call Haitian, right? The one we call Imperial Haiti. You know, we are kings and queens. But go ahead.
It wasn't Imperial Haiti. It wasn't even Haiti yet. It was Saint Domingue, if that were where he's from.
It was Imperial Haiti, Taurus.
No, it wasn't Imperial Haiti, and it hasn't even been proven that he was actually from Saint Domingue.
Some early historical accounts and scholars suggest DeSable was born in New France, present-day Canada, to French-Canadian parents. This theory often points to his fluency in French, his involvement in the fur trade, and his early movements through the Midwestern frontier, as evidence of strong ties to French-Canadian culture.
Let's move on. What's up now? What did you have to say about Haiti? Everybody in the comment section, the one that was, what you guys have to say about Haiti?
Ma'am,
what else you got to say? Let's fast forward. Yes, they ended TPS, but there's still another 20 million Haitians here legally. Yes, they ended TPS, but there's still another 20 million Haitians here legally.
In this video, we will be looking at the most Haitian cities in the U.S. Number 8 is Port St. Lucie with 10,000 Haitians. Number 7 is Atlanta with 10,000. Number 6 is Tampa Bay, Florida with almost 13,000 Haitians. Number 5 is Philly with 17,000. Number 4 is Orlando with 38,000. Number 3 is Boston with almost 52,000 Haitians. At number 2, we got New York City with 169,000. And at number 1, we have the Miami, South Florida area with about 217,000 Haitians.
Ma'am, what you gonna do when your family gets sent back?
What do you mean? We could build Haiti. It's our country. Let me tell you something.
What you so mad at,
regardless of what your people has already done to it.
Then what you so mad at then? If you going, why y'all crying and kicking and screaming about going back?
Hello, President Trump. I'm Haitian. You know what I'm saying? You need fucking move your shit, ambassador in Haiti. You know what I'm saying? Haitian, I don't play. I don't have problem. Whatever Haitian want to go Haiti, you need move your shit, ambassador in Haiti. Fuck you, bitch.
20 million.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not on TPS, but I could have a stance.
Did you say 20 million Haitians? Where?
Yeah, we have over 20 million legal Haitians here that are naturalized Haitians, not Haitian American that was born
20 million Haitians here?
Yes, we do.
Is this one? Is she on drugs?
Oh my goodness! No, I don't come from that generation.
Ain't no 20 million Haitians over here.
That's your generation.
Where are 20 million Haitians?
All right. Scattered all over the United States.
What do you
It's scattered around. Okay, I know how many people. I'm not gonna say it's around 20-ish million. It might be a little bit more. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
How many Haitians do you think is here? How many people do you think is Haitian? You probably don't even know somebody that you walk past is a Haitian. Because what do Haitians look like at the end of the day?
20 million Haitians get over here.
You know? Oh my goodness.
How in the world would 20 million Haitians get to the United States?
What do you mean? How did 20 million Haitians? Did you hear how many just came over?
How many?
Did you hear what Stephen Miller said? At least 11 million alone illegally.
At scale, bringing tens of millions of third world voters into this country from nations that are communist, nations that are socialist, nations that are failed states, nations that if they never had contact with the West would have never developed the combustion engine or airplanes or televisions or radio or the internet, that this process of rapidly introducing tens of millions of migrants into the country who have the ability, because they're made into citizens, to vote to take from other citizens. In other words, they can, with their vote, say,
Haitians are some big ass liars. They are. They really are. So I did this graphic here for use. Anyone can say that they are Black American, but I got to put it back up. Hold on, y'all. But what dictates the need to believe a lying immigrant can be low ethnic pride or needing money or sleeping with one of them? Because I don't know why she thought to believe this chick here, fair use.
And so the very people that were the reason why Wall Street even has its standing today is because of Haiti. And Haiti also helped us when we were facing the Civil War. A lot of Black Americans think after slavery, oh, we just happened to get funding from banks. No, my love, the reason we were able to fund Black Wall Street, and I want people to fact check me here, is because Haiti was actually funneling a lot of money here to help Black Americans get their first loans so that they can start infrastructure here, because there were a lot of Black Haitian millionaires. But of course, they're going to leave this part out of the story, because then you're going to wonder, well, why are they here? They're illegals. What is the reason why they specifically targeting the Haitians? Well, of course, if you want to specifically target Haitians, where's the check? Who's cutting the check? Because you guys walked away with, right now, that would be worth $95 billion. So who's going to cut the check to Haiti? Why y'all want to send them back? Give us the money back that you stole from us, that you continue to rob this country of, because they were the first people to tell you, hey, we're not going to deal with your dehumanizing of humans. So then cut us the check, then we can leave.
Haiti gained their freedom in 1804, right? So this is from France. And we know that ever since then,
we still have to pay
it's been
France.
a problem. Yes, absolutely.
500 million.
And America was very instrumental in making sure that that happened, right?
Correct.
Then you have the Spaniards. They freed themselves from the Spaniards. So now we're up to here. Now, are we, like, you're punishing them because of that?
Yes.
I mean, America has been doing that from the moment we received our freedom, because when the United States found out Haiti received its freedom, they didn't report it. They didn't want anybody in the United States to even know that Haitians gained their freedom. And so they put out what we considered in the mail propaganda about who Haitians are, what they do. They're cannibals. They're doing this. They're doing that. And they didn't want the United States to even find out that Black people gained their freedom and were able to even migrate to Haiti, because our general at the time said, all Black people, if you come to this land, you are free.
You are free.
Personal vendetta at this point.
Yeah,
personal vendetta.
Absolutely.
Personal vendetta. Well, she did say fact checked her. Fair use.
Our summary. Did Haiti funnel money to Black Americans? No. Historically, Haiti never funneled money to Black Americans to get loans. Instead, Haiti was forced to pay massive indemnity debts and high-interest loans to white French bankers and later white Wall Street executives. Is Haiti's stolen gold why Wall Street exists? No, but it heavily enriched major Wall Street banks. Wall Street was already established in the 1700s, but in 1914, U.S. Marines raided the Haitian treasury and transferred $500,000 in gold directly to National City Bank, now Citibank, in New York, helping cement Citibank's global power. Who built Wall Street? Wall Street was physically built by enslaved Black Americans and European settlers, and turned into a financial powerhouse by American merchants, slave traders, and industrial capital. 1. Did Haiti funnel money to Black Americans? There is no historical evidence that Haiti funneled money to Black Americans for loans. The French ransom. After winning independence in 1804, Haiti was forced by gunboat diplomacy in 1825 to pay France 150 million francs to compensate former white enslavers. Who got the money? To pay this, Haiti took out crushing high-interest loans from Parisian banks like Crédit Industriel et Commercial, and later American banks. The reality: the wealth extracted from Haiti flowed directly into white-owned European and American financial institutions, leaving Haiti impoverished while enriching foreign banks. 2. Did Haiti's stolen gold create Wall Street? Wall Street already existed long before the U.S. intervention in Haiti, but Wall Street banks, specifically Citibank, profited immensely from Haitian gold and capital. The 1914 gold raid. In December 1914, U.S. Marines invaded Port-au-Prince, walked into the National Bank of Haiti, seized $500,000 in gold reserves, and shipped it to the vaults of National City Bank in New York. The 1915 to 1934 U.S. occupation, the U.S. military occupied Haiti largely at the request of National City Bank executives. For decades, a quarter or more of Haiti's annual national revenue was funneled directly to Wall Street to service debts and line the pockets of American bank directors. 3. Who built Wall Street into what it is today? Physical construction, 1600s to 1700s. In 1653, Dutch colonizers used the labor of enslaved black people and European settlers to build the literal wooden wall along the northern border of New Amsterdam, now Manhattan, to defend against Native American tribes and the British. This physical wall gave the street its name. Slave Market, 1711 to 1762. In 1711, the New York City Common Council established Wall Street as the city's official municipal slave market, where enslaved Africans were bought, sold, and rented out at the corner of Wall and Water Streets. Financial foundations, late 1700s to 1800s. In 1792, 24 prominent white stockbrokers signed the Buttonwood Agreement under a tree on Wall Street, establishing the framework for the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE. Capital growth, 1800s present. Wall Street grew into a global superpower by financing the Southern cotton trade, built on chattel slavery, national railways, industrial manufacturing, and 20th century international imperial banking across Latin America and the Caribbean. Credible historical references. The New York Times, The Ransom Investigative Series, 2022. Hudson, Peter James. Bankers and Empire, How Wall Street Colonized the Caribbean, University of Chicago Press, 2017. U.S. National Archives and Records Administration, NARA, Records on the U.S. Occupation of Haiti, 1915 to 1934.
They are so pitiful. It's like a sibling or a cousin that's jealous of you. Well, not a sibling, a distant relative that's jealous of you. And so they're gonna lie every chance they get. I have what I notice is when they tell these stories, these revisionist accounts of history, they don't talk about Germany and the backdoor deal. Um, Wyclef Jean, and I thought I had, I always forget one or two very pivotal um videos. I'm trying to see if I have it where I could just pull it up, but I don't see it. Wyclef Jean was on a talk show with what present as a Latino. They was saying some of this revisionist history here, right? But what these people leave out really is the backdoor deals that they made with Germany. Remember, I broke down how they invaded Dominican Republic, said that they were trying to emancipate them from Spain, which, the Dominicans did win that. But then they turned around and tried to force them into a form of slavery. And what some resources try to say is, oh, it wasn't slavery, it was forced labor. Well, forced labor is slavery, duh. And the Dominicans whooped their ass every battle they had. That's why they don't really talk about the Dominicans that much. So, and I do tell y'all things with them, that those two groups, that's ancestral. And I think that because we ain't whooping their ass, we're doing it politically, um, they feel like they could just tell us anything or feel so emboldened to act any old type of way. But I think they need to cut it out. So we're going to examine the German backdoor deal and how that happened and why, when America went in, it was after years of watching what was going on over there. And the Dominicans had like front row seats because they right there. So the Dominican, in order to get them to tell the truth, I said the Dominicans have been talking. So don't give me no politically correct pro-immigrant response. I want the truth. And this is what they gave me. Fair use, y'all. To just like stop lying. They get some backup to help them, and then we have to debunk them again, right? So I propose they lose access to Wi-Fi. a moratorium on all their immigration. And those who remain here understand you cannot identify as a black business, nor can you dip into our set-asides. We're not fighting for anything for Haitians. Y'all have gotten enough. So let's break down this whole video with Wyclef Jean and some, non-black person or non-melanated presenting person. I don't even know who it is. I went to TikTok for a different video and saw that one. So let's see what we have going on here. Ready? That's my suggestions. They are annoying. And then they wonder why Turks and Caicos, St. Kitts, Bahamas, Jamaica. I haven't heard anything from Trinidad about the Haitians, to be honest. I think it's Barbados and Bahamas just don't want to be bothered with the Haitians, their own Caribbean people. And I'm told they do the same thing to them that they do to us. Annoying. But we're going to break down their lies. Ready? Fair use.
TLDR summary. The legal fact on taxes, temporary protected status, TPS, is a temporary work authorization, not a tax exemption. Under U.S. tax law, Internal Revenue Code Title 26, income earned on American soil is subject to federal taxation to pay for public infrastructure, services, and processing fees consumed while living here. The legal fact on gold. The 1914 gold transfer was a sovereign debt settlement executed between National City Bank, the U.S. State Department, and the Haitian state. A non-citizen TPS recipient facing deportation has no legal individual claim or standing under international law to demand sovereign state assets. Why the selective outrage exists. Selective focus on demanding money from the U.S. rather than France comes down to proximity, active deportation proceedings, and domestic politics. Even though France extorted the original independence debt, 150 million gold francs forced in 1825 under gunboat diplomacy that crippled Haiti for a century. 1. Why demanding tax refunds and gold back before deportation is erroneous. The assertion that a foreign national leaving the U.S. under TPS termination or a deportation order is owed their taxes or national gold is legally unfounded under both domestic and international law. Legal framework breakdown. Fill down pointing triangle. Fill down pointing triangle. U.S. Tax Code. Title 26. Sovereign property law. Income earned in U.S. equals taxed gold belong to National Bank of Haiti. Funds, roads, courts, emergency care not individual citizens. TPS confers work rights, not tax exemptions. Individuals lack legal standing to claim state assets. Tax law principles. Fee for civic operation. Taxes paid by TPS holders are not savings accounts or security deposits returned upon departure. Under federal law, taxes are non-refundable assessments that fund the societal infrastructure, e.g., roads, public safety, legal frameworks, and emergency healthcare, that non-citizens utilize while earning income on American soil. TPS status limitations. TPS grants temporary humanitarian permission to work legally, but it explicitly confers no permanent status or special tax-exempt privileges. Like any other worker in the U.S. economy, TPS holders pay federal and state taxes as a mandatory condition of holding a legal U.S. work permit. Sovereign property and standing. No individual property claim. The $500,000 in gold transferred in 1914 was a sovereign asset belonging to the Banque Nationale de la République d'Haïti as part of international debt settlements involving National City Bank. Lack of standing. Under domestic and international law, an individual private citizen has zero legal standing, locus standi, to demand the physical return of sovereign state assets or government treasury deposits. Sovereign claims can only be raised through state-to-state diplomatic channels or international tribunals. 2. The French double debt versus American proximity. The historical record shows that France was the primary power that extorted Haiti's economic future through the 1825 independence debt. The 1825 French ransom. 21 years after Haiti won its independence, King Charles X of France dispatched 14 warships to Port-au-Prince, forcing Haiti to agree to pay 150 million gold francs, later reduced to 90 million, to compensate former French slaveholders. The double debt. To pay this extortion, Haiti was forced to take out high-interest loans from French banks, Crédit Industriel et Commercial, creating a double debt cycle that consumed over 80% of Haiti's national budget for a century and was not fully cleared until 1947. Investigative historical audits estimate the modern economic drain of France's extortion at over $21 billion to $560 million in direct gold extractions. Why the difference in public energy? Factor. Attitude toward the U.S. Attitude toward France. immediate proximity, active threat, facing active enforcement, ICE detention, and removal orders from U.S. soil. Distant history. France is thousands of miles away and poses no immediate physical deportation threat to U.S.-based individuals. Political leverage. Domestic media exposure. Activists use rhetoric surrounding U.S. history to push for TPS extensions, asylum grants, or deportation stays within the American media ecosystem. No U.S. policy impact. Demanding money from Paris does not stop a U.S. immigration judge from issuing a deportation order or DHS from ending TPS. Diplomatic deflection. Focusing on American foreign policy. Rhetoric focuses on the 1915 U.S. occupation to justify staying in the U.S. indefinitely. France's dismissal. France has repeatedly dismissed legal demands for financial restitution, including petitions in 2004, 2010, and 2025, without meaningful diplomatic pushback from Haitian leadership.
Now, I'm glad they brought up 1914 because, like I said, you know, the Haitians, they run for help, but, you know, run for help in their lives, right? So, conveniently, everybody's leaving out the Germans except for the Dominicans. The Dominicans told us about the backdoor deal, now with the Germans that the Haitians made. Remember, America and Germans were not allies. Also, remember, the Haitians was right there, watching everything. So I'm liable to go with them because the Haitians have been proven to be liars over and over and over and over and over again. And like we had the Go Home, Garvey Must Go campaign, I think we should start one for Wyclef too. But then he might get, you know, shot like he did when he was about to run for president. It's really diabolical. And I think that they think we're punks because we're so nice. And we debate them intellectually. They're intellectually lazy. So let's see about this backdoor deal. Okay. Let's see now.
DR summary. The German deal. The German economic presence in Haiti was backed by explicit deals made between the Haitian political elite and wealthy German merchant families, gross commerçants, who financed local political factions and revolts in exchange for control over customs revenues and public utilities. The backdoor workaround, German men bypassed the Haitian constitution's strict ban on foreign land ownership by marrying into prominent Afro-French/mulatto Haitian families, gaining direct control over major agricultural, banking, and infrastructure assets. The standoff, the U.S. moved its military into Haiti in 1914 and 1915, specifically to smash this German-Haitian economic axis, fearing that German merchants were positioning the German Empire to seize control of the Mole Saint-Nicolas naval passage near the Panama Canal. 1. The German-Haitian deals, the financial reality, historical records from the Caribbean, including accounts heavily documented in the neighboring Dominican Republic, confirm that the U.S. intervention was triggered by deep-seated commercial deals between the Haitian government/elite and German merchant empires. The German-Haitian commercial axis filled down pointing triangle. The marriage loophole financing revolts. German merchants married into German commercial houses elite Haitian families to bypass funded local revolutionary constitutional prohibitions generals in exchange for future against foreign land ownership. Custom House revenue control. Financing revolutions for Custom House control. Between 1911 and 1915, Haiti went through 7 different presidents due to constant armed coups. German merchant houses in Port-au-Prince and Cap-Haitien regularly financed these rebel armies, CACOS. In exchange, once a rebel general took power, he would hand over control of regional custom houses to the Germans to pay back the high-interest war loans. Monopolizing infrastructure. By 1914, despite numbering only around 200 people, the German community controlled roughly 80% of Haiti's international trade. They owned and operated the main wharf in Port-au-Prince, the national tramway, electric utilities, and key railroad lines. The land ownership bypass, Article 7 of the historic Haitian Constitution, strictly banned foreign white individuals from owning real estate. German businessmen circumvented this law by marrying daughters of the Haitian elite, securing legal ownership of strategic property and commercial hubs through their wives. 2. The U.S. reaction to the German-Haitian nexus. Washington viewed the financial deals between Haitian leaders in Germany as a direct violation of the Monroe Doctrine and an existential threat during World War I. Strategic threat near the Panama Canal. President Woodrow Wilson and the U.S. State Department feared that Germany, which had already used gunboat diplomacy in Haiti during the Looters Affair, 1897, would use Haitian sovereign debt as an excuse to establish a German naval base at Mole Saint-Nicolas. Seizing the gold. When the Haitian government began leaning toward German financial backers to refinance its national debt, Wall Street's National City Bank partnered with the U.S. government. The U.S. Marines landed in December 1914, physically confiscated $500,000 of Haiti's national gold reserve from the bank vault, and shipped it to New York to prevent it from being used to pay off German creditors. 3. Historical accounts and regional realities. Accounts from the Dominican Republic, which shared the island of Hispaniola and faced its own subsequent U.S. military occupation in 1916, frequently highlighted how Haitian political elites entangled the island in European imperial rivalries. Dominican perspectives. Dominican historians and political observers of the era documented that while Santo Domingo struggled with its own customs debt to the U.S., the Haitian leadership had specifically allowed Imperial Germany to establish deep commercial routes right on the border, creating a geopolitical flashpoint that eventually drew the U.S. military into occupying both nations on the island.
Y'all, I decided to look into why Wyclef Jean got shot. I thought he got shot while running for president. He actually didn't, but this right here is like, he shouldn't really sit on national stages talking about history. He doesn't even know the difference between broken glass and a gunshot. I mean. So I don't have, it was a really quick clip of Wyclef Jean on in an interview type of thing with a non-melanated person, right? Some type of Latino. And they were talking about America, the same thing that lady said. Oh, in 1915, the USA military stormed or invaded Haiti, stole 17 boxes of gold, and Wyclef Jean was up there. Yeah, right. Like, they never tell people about the Germans, about what they were doing, how the Germans were able to marry them and have children with them to gain access to certain control of the land and stuff. So, and they knew what was happening. But fair use. So when you hear me say that, just know that the clip is on TikTok, if you care to find it, and on Twitter, or I could bring it back, the next time I go live, just to show y'all what I'm talking about. Because they be pissing me off now that I know more than just, they won their independence, and that's why everybody hate them. They did a lot of grimy stuff, especially between 1911 through 1915. That's why America went in, because of the stuff they were doing. But fair use. Look at this, y'all. Fair use.
TLDR summary. The context. Wyclef Jean was never shot while running for president. His presidential bid was officially disqualified in August 2010 by Haiti's Provisional Electoral Council, CEP, due to failure to meet constitutional residency requirements. The incident, March 2011. The hand injury occurred 7 months after his campaign ended, on the eve of the March 2011 presidential runoff election, while he was in Haiti actively campaigning for candidate Michel Sweet Mickey Martelly. The contradictions and investigation. Wyclef claimed a bullet grazed his hand after hearing gunshots. However, local police and treating physicians reported that his hand was actually cut by broken glass, not a gunshot. The arrests. No shooters were ever arrested because Haitian police determined no shooting had taken place regarding his specific injury, and Wyclef never filed a formal police report. 1. Timeline of events, disqualification versus the incident. It is a common historical misconception that Wyclef Jean was shot while actively running for president of Haiti. The timeline of events clarifies what took place. Wyclef Jean political timeline, 2010-2011, filled down pointing triangle. Filled down pointing triangle. August 2010. Disqualified March 19, 2011. Hand injury. CEP rejects his candidacy because injured in Delmas, Port-au-Prince. He did not meet the 5-year consecutive while campaigning for Michel Martelly residency requirement, lived in U.S., on the eve of the runoff election. August 2010. Wyclef formally registered to run for president of Haiti following the devastating January 2010 earthquake. However, the Electoral Council disqualified him because Article 135 of the Haitian Constitution requires presidential candidates to have resided in Haiti for 5 consecutive years prior to the election. March 19, 2011. 7 months after his campaign ended, Wyclef returned to Haiti to campaign for fellow musician and presidential frontrunner Michel Martelly. Late on the night before the final runoff vote, an incident occurred in the Delmas district of Port-au-Prince. 2. Wyclef's version versus police and medical reports. The narrative surrounding the injury immediately split into conflicting accounts between Wyclef's camp and Haitian law enforcement. Wyclef Jean's account. Wyclef told reporters and news outlets that he stepped out of a vehicle late at night to make a private phone call. He stated he heard gunshots, blow, 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 looked down, and saw his right hand bleeding from what he believed was a bullet graze. Police and hospital accounts. The Haitian National Police, led by Police Chief Mario Andresol and Pétionville Police Chief Vanel Lacroix, investigated the private clinic, City Med, where Wyclef was treated. The attending physician and police chiefs officially stated that the cut on Wyclef's hand was caused by glass shards, likely from a broken vehicle window or glass container, and not a firearm projectile. 3. Why no arrests were made. No suspects were ever identified, charged, or arrested in connection with the incident for 3 primary structural reasons. No police report filed. Haitian Police Chief Mario Andresol publicly confirmed that Wyclef Jean left the medical facility without providing a statement or filing a formal complaint with the police. Disputed crime scene. Because authorities determined the injury was a laceration from glass rather than a gunshot wound, law enforcement did not open an attempted murder investigation. Political chaos. The incident occurred during one of the most volatile nights in modern Haitian political history. The eve of a high-stakes, fraud-plagued presidential election involving the return of exiled former President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. Authorities focused their security resources on protecting polling stations, rather than investigating an unverified claim.
Pay attention. Fair use.
Wyclef Jean's account and statements. Wyclef Jean never retracted his core claim that he heard gunshots and believed he was hit. In immediate interviews with outlets like the Associated Press and BET, he maintained that he heard blow, blow, blow late at night, looked down and saw blood dripping from his right hand. When confronted directly by journalists on Election Day regarding local police reports and medical staff statements concluding his hand was actually cut by glass shards, Wyclef dismissed the police account, calling it local political gossip. This is Haiti. It's a city of rumors. There's another one with me and Busta Rhymes in the car. He framed the police explanation as a political attempt to discredit him because he was supporting Michel Sweet Mickey Martelly's campaign. He chose not to press the issue legally, never filed an official police complaint, and left Port-au-Prince shortly after casting his ballot. Accusations against Michel Martelly regarding the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Yes, Michel Martelly has been directly named and accused in connection with a presidential assassination plot. Former First Lady Martine Moïse, who was injured during the July 7, 2021, assault that killed her husband, President Jovenel Moïse, explicitly accused Michel Martelly during federal trial testimony of having ties to and involvement in the plot to eliminate her husband. Power struggle dynamics in Haiti filled down pointing triangle. Filled down pointing triangle. Michel Martelly, PHTK founder, Jovenel Moïse, successor. Handpicked Moïse as his successor, cut off state contracts held by expected continued political control Martelly's family and allies. Accused by First Lady of masterminding plot. Targeted by drug trade and coup plots. The backstory. Martelly handpicked Jovenel Moïse to succeed him as the candidate for the Parti Haitien Tête Kale, PHTK. Martelly expected Moïse to act as a placeholder who would protect the financial interests of the Martelly family and their political allies. The falling out. Once in office, Moïse began breaking ties with his former political mentor. Investigative reports, including those published by the New York Times, revealed that prior to his murder, Moïse was preparing a dossier for U.S. authorities exposing politicians and business elites involved in the illegal drug trade. The primary figure targeted in Moïse's investigation was Charles Kiko Saint-Remy, Martelly's brother-in-law. Direct allegations. Martine Moïse testified in court that Martelly, alongside other high-ranking political figures, orchestrated the environment and financial backing that brought foreign mercenaries to their residence to assassinate her husband. U.S. federal indictments have since charged multiple co-conspirators in South Florida, and the investigation continues to examine the ties between those mercenaries and Martelly's inner circle. Following the March 19, 2011 incident in Port-au-Prince, social media outlets, entertainment blogs, and international news reports claimed that Busta Rhymes and music executive James Jimmy Henchman Rosemond were inside the vehicle when armed gunmen allegedly ambushed Wyclef Jean's car. The rumor claimed that Busta Rhymes, Jimmy Henchman, and Wyclef were traveling together in a caravan or armored SUV through the Delmas district after performing at a political rally for presidential candidate Michel Martelly when the vehicle was sprayed with bullets. Who started the rumors? Celebrity blogs and social media outlets. The story broke online via entertainment blogs, such as linked to KarenCivil.com and Sandra Rose, and spread quickly across Twitter. Initial posts claimed direct confirmation from representatives and entourage members that Busta Rhymes was present during a drive-by shooting. Early media reports, major news outlets including CNN, BET, and regional newspapers picked up the unverified reports overnight, repeating the claim that Busta Rhymes was in the car when Wyclef was hurt. Why the rumor was created? Busta Rhymes was actually in Haiti. Busta Rhymes and Jimmy Henchman had traveled to Haiti that weekend specifically to perform alongside Wyclef Jean at a final election rally supporting Michel Martelly. Because they were publicly seen together throughout the day, bloggers and media outlets assumed Busta was in the vehicle when the late-night incident occurred. Sensationalism on election eve. The incident occurred hours before polling stations opened for a volatile presidential runoff election. Framing the event as a high-profile Hollywood-style hit involving major U.S. hip-hop stars generated immediate clicks and global media coverage. When Wyclef addressed reporters while casting his vote the next day, he brought up the rumor himself to dismiss the media frenzy. He stated that he was actually with a driver and local artist Fan, not Busta Rhymes, and mocked the conflicting media coverage. This is Haiti. It's a city of rumors. There's another one with me and Busta Rhymes in the car.
Now, I wanted to know if those rumors started around the time that he said Americans don't have no culture and hip hop is a yardman culture and this and that, right? Let's see with the resource, and I didn't have to fight or tussle for these answers. Ready? Fair use.
TLDR summary. The origin of the statements. The statements were made during Busta Rhymes' appearances on platforms like Revolt TV's Drink Champs and various hip-hop podcasts. The timeline. While Busta Rhymes was in Haiti performing during the March 2011 election cycle, these specific public comments were made in subsequent years during retrospectives on hip-hop history. The core claims. Busta Rhymes argued that hip-hop and American urban culture were fundamentally born from Jamaican, West Indian, and Puerto Rican Latino influences. A claim that generated pushback from Native Black Americans for erasing the foundational role of Native Black American culture in inventing the genre. Busta Rhymes' comments on culture and hip-hop. Over several media appearances, Busta Rhymes, whose parents are Jamaican immigrants, made statements attributing the creation of hip-hop and broad American urban culture to West Indian and Latino influences. Hip-hop is a yardman and West Indian claims. In an interview on Revolt TV's Drink Champs, Busta Rhymes stated that Jamaica gave birth to hip-hop and that the genre is fundamentally a yardman, a Jamaican term for a native islander. Latino and Puerto Rican erasure of native black foundations. In other interviews discussing the elements of hip-hop, DJing, breaking, graffiti, he credited Black and Puerto Rican Latino communities as co-creators of the culture. Claims regarding no American culture. During these discussions, Busta Rhymes echoed claims that American-born Black people lacked a distinct culture of their own, asserting that New York's cultural fabric was imported entirely from Caribbean and Latin American migration. Why these claims are historically inaccurate. Busta Rhymes' claims sparked criticism from music historians and Native Black American advocates for several reasons. The native roots of hip-hop. Failed down, pointing triangle. Failed down, pointing triangle. Native Black American musical pedigree. Systemic cultural appropriation. Rooted directly in Black American blues, attributing native innovations to foreign jazz, funk, scatting, and spoken word migrants, erases the specific historical traditions born in the U.S. South. Struggles of Native Black Americans, deep domestic roots. Hip-hop's foundational elements such as breakbeats, scatting, call and response, the dozens, and street poetry derive directly from Native Black American musical traditions, including blues, jazz, funk, and gospel, developed over centuries in the United States. Over-attributing DJ Kool Herc. While Jamaican-born DJ Kool Herc is celebrated as one of hip-hop's founding fathers for bringing sound system party setups to the Bronx, the rhythmic rapping, MCing, and lyrical delivery were shaped by Native Black American disc jockeys, funk artists like James Brown, and spoken word poets like The Last Poets and Gil Scott-Heron. Erasing Native lineage. Asserting that Native Black Americans have no culture, or that domestic genres were imported from foreign islands functions as a form of cultural erasure, stripping Native Black Americans of credit for creating one of the most dominant global art forms of the 20th century.
We need a go home buster, okay? Movement 2. Him, Wyclef, the bobble-headed Haitian girl, the dirty black American Haitian girl, whoever said black Americans don't have no culture, and then put a travel ban, student visa, and a visa restriction on all their countries. We gonna show y'all one way or another, okay? Stop playing with us, because a lot of times I just be home and boom, something just hit me. They just talking about us for no reason. And all we did was be nice to these motherfuckers. We ain't even put them out like the South Africans put out the Nigerians. So, I mean, I think we need to just MTV, at how MTV did Afrobeats. We need to do that to Busta. He been around too long. And Wyclef too. If they keep sitting on stages talking about we ain't got no culture or that America robbed them and omitting key aspects of history, like the Germans, or the fact that the Haitians had so many this and that and the thirds during the 1911 through 1915. When are they going to start telling the truth? I'm tired of them. But be one family. And by black first, I mean black American first. I damn sure don't mean the Caribbean, the Haitian, or anybody else who think they black. Y'all know I be going in when I don't have nobody to be like, okay, BX. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to debunk some of the narratives that they were putting out there, fill in the blanks for the stuff that they were leaving out. That's all pivotal, right? So it seems like America was protecting their interests. And if they were in like building a bond with the Germans and letting Germans buy land from 1911 through 1915, when America just said we can't take no more of this shit, they leave all of that out. Then they are the culprits. I don't know what country is not going to at least try to protect their best interests unless it's those melanated places, because they just really ain't doing nothing but fleeing and leaving the people there who can't get off those islands or off that continent to such dire conditions. And the more that they come here, the worse. And I can only speak for New York. The worse New York is starting to look to me, especially in the Bronx. Now, some areas are very gentrified, so they get better resources. But I don't believe those are the melanated places. It's going to be some white folks around there for them to get those resources. But in the meantime, I got to look at the Bronx transform into third world conditions. It's not normal the way that they fled their homeland to come here and make our homeland look like theirs. Mm-mm. And I said years ago, maybe 2 years ago, there's a dark cloud or a gloomy cloud over America. And it was because of Biden and Harris. That was the nail in the coffin for me. And this administration is America first, so they're trying to get them out. But they ain't going to be able to get out everybody. But in the meantime, we got to keep putting belt to ass, especially politically. Let me move this comment so y'all can get the full effect. Those Haitian and Haitian American candidates lost their Florida primaries, and more of that should happen around the states for the melanated immigrants. They have proved they cannot govern effectively because they're not governing for everybody if we're locked out of stuff, and there's nobody in that government specifically advocating for foundational Black Americans, and the buck has to stop. So let them Haitians be a message. They aren't targeted. They drop the ball. And they don't know the definition of words. They ain't read the fine print on the TPS. And I hope they really take that program out of existence, since people don't know the definition of words. any form of immigration harms foundational Black American communities. Why? They get the business loan, they get extra this, extra that, and a lot of them are dumped into our community. And some of those gangs don't start here for them to protect themselves from us, they start from their homeland. And they migrate here with those waves and dumped into our statistics box. Now, when I come back, which may or may not be today, we are going to really examine the afrodescendant.org videos that I showed you the other day. I did a bit more research. They have nobody openly politically backing them. They like to keep their talks with the UN. Um, who supports them heavily is Al Sharpton and his National Action Network and the NAACP. They have like a head activist. He might even be a leader, but they putting a woman in the forefront. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm the attorney for this, and that's the attorney who made the term up. So she set the process, and then the president. I believe the president really is not foundational, but there was a man. His last name is Shabazz, and he had a problem with Marion Barry. Marion Barry was like, "I ain't with your, I ain't with your shit. I ain't with that stuff, with your rhetoric." So we'll examine that. I do have it queued up, but I'm gonna log off for a little while and decompress. I'll probably go visit TikTok because I kind of miss the rooms that I go in. I feel like I'm well rested enough not to be stressed, and when I get stressed, I'm a drop. Did Haiti push Ghana to get Ali? You asking the wrong person. I do the research. I do the research. Haiti could not push anybody to do anything. Ghana is the face of the AU, right? Ghana is kind of in charge of the AU from what I ascertain. And the AU denied Haiti's application and tried to make us, foundational Black Americans, their sixth region. The CARICOM had to take on Haiti. All today, I heard, well, up until today, I've heard that the Ghanaian president, and I even showed y'all that resource, went over to Jamaica and was trying the same thing in Jamaica that he was trying over here. And there was a couple of Jamaicans that was upset. I said, see, I told you this all aligning with Africa is new for me, you know. But here's the issue. Haiti don't got enough money or control of their resources for Ghana to be interested in them. So Haiti didn't. Yeah, but no, Haiti's doing that on their own, and that's not any government. That's the people who are here dressed in our aesthetics, scared that they're gonna be next to be deported. So, and I also showed y'all that even though the TPS is ending, and the Haitians were teasing people with a blue passport. I got a blue passport. I got a blue passport. There are still Haitians slated for denaturalization or deportation. Nobody is safe but us. Okay, but us. Don't go. Some of y'all take one sentence and well, BX said or this one said. Y'all gotta hear the whole sentence, y'all. And this is nobody to nobody in the chat. It's just my friend told me something that happened the other day, and it was like they blew it out of proportion. I just didn't mean that, And I was like, I get it, but Haiti is operating on its own, only to us. They ain't gonna tell our government that. They could try, but they still got to go. And that's why, if you rewind this slide, when I click end, you're gonna hear me laughing like these niggas really thought they were bigger than the program. The immigrants, the melanated immigrants are really feeling really emboldened for some reason. Maybe because Kamala is an immigrant like them, first generation. could somewhat black presenting, grew up or went to a sorority, and she almost won the highest office in the land. We know Obama ain't us. He's a Kenyan biracial. And I think that they really feeling emboldened that they could really tell Americans that they ain't leaving unless they get their tax return back. Well, honey, that ain't gonna work. That's why I made sure that I had the resource to show why that is just delusional. I'm sorry. Once I start going, I just keep going, right? But yeah, because it's just, I just really sat here and laughed. Like the one lady was like, "My race of people built this nation. What did you build, man? Your homeland looked like shit." And then the Haitians, "Well, Donald Trump, if we leave, his family gotta leave too." Do they hear themselves? What do you should only been here 2 years and they built in their homeland all the time. They were in their homeland for centuries. They ain't built that shit. But they came here and built ours in 2 years. They done got the white people upset. It was funny though. He was like, "Oh, they should." We as foundational Black Americans still tussle over inventions and stuff, verbally, of course, about our inventions, our reparations, the fact that we are the true Americans. Like, we really go ham on them on some of these panels and stuff. And the Haitians thought they could just come up and say, listen, you can't even talk to barbecue, and you want to come over here and talk to these white people. And go tell barbecue to put the guns down. If you do that, we might give you that 1804 warrior title back. But if you don't do that, you ain't shit, you ain't build shit, you ain't worth shit, and your country ain't shit. It's just a shithole. They got some big things to do. Certified salute to you too, Maxwell. Have you been listening or you got to catch the replay? I want to tell y'all, I am monetized now. I do have membership options. Y'all go ahead and check that out. Super thanks and super chats are enacted. And of course, I do take monetary donations for the platform. Everything goes back into the platform. I'm working on better graphics, y'all, but I ain't never lied. I told y'all I can't do graphics. I use Gemini. But this was a cute live. I had a good chuckle because I just realized these, it just was everything, everything. But I'm glad I was able to break it down, put some scholarship behind the German backdoor deal, how that happened, why it is delusional for them to think they're going to get some tax money back. And the fact that they don't know temporary does not mean permanent, just isn't sitting right with me. But I always say this: the melanated immigrants don't have good common sense, y'all. Well, the ones that's here that I come into contact with. So, I'm not saying all, but a large majority of them. Also, Afro Lee said that he had a very, very good back to school drive or free giveaway. And we do have, so shout out to him. He said it was really nice. Um, don't forget, Gary, Indiana. Last time I checked, they still did not have power. I didn't check today though. They still didn't have power. A man by the name of Mr. Cosmo, who is in Gary, said that the mayor is highly trustworthy. Before we donate to a GoFundMe, see what the mayor's office is guiding everybody to do. If you are in or near Gary, there are charging stations, and you can contact the Gary Public Library, 220 West 5th Avenue, Gary, Indiana. Also, if you can't get in touch with the mayor's office, the public library is just as good to find out what it is that our family out in Gary needs. And I think that's all the announcements. Oh, check the bio for the calls to actions. Can't forget that. And my other ventures and appearances. And if I'm not back later on tonight, then I'll be back in the morning. I like this live though. It's pretty cool. And let me see your comments before I go. Jimmy was like, right, go tell barbecue, 1804. Maxwell says, I've been listening for a while, but I'll catch the beginning on replay. Salute. Thank you. Noki says, they do look like they mixed some Africans in their population recently. They got a different type of look. There was one at the Jamaica Rising Day Parade trying to act like he was Jamaican, but he didn't unless he was related to Sharper Ranks. I just was like, oh, he got to be a Haitian. I don't know what's going on, but the Africans are even in Australia. So and they are going into Jamaica like crazy too. So they all over the damn world. They in Canada, everywhere. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Africans are actually heading to Haiti. Not all of Haiti is messed up. The first flight with deportees landed in Cap, Haitian. So Port-au-Prince may not have opened that airport, but they got another way, another landing strip to send them people home. Noki says, Al Sharpton on the bridge with them immigrants portraying our struggles. Mr. Sharpton's a traitor. Yes, yes. I'm so mad at them. They don't do nothing original. They keep trying to walk in our footsteps or in our ancestors' shoes, and them some mighty big shoes to fill. They just not going to be able to do it. But on that note, so I don't be up here rambling and stuff, be one. And thank you for coming out and engaging with me. And I will see y'all later. Love, peace, light, and reparations to my foundational Black Americans. I love us for real. Be one.
From ancient tales to modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.